We got our cheeks clapped so bad that I had to make a follow-up video the day after the actual match. And you know what, going up against OL champions is certainly a very uphill battle, but the only thing we can do is learn from it. And there are 3 things I learned from this match. And if you consider them useful, consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video. It helps out a lot. So without further ado, let's begin with the number 1 thing. And I'll go through the reports to paint the picture of what happened. So first thing I look for are their field compositions. So field in Arc is relatively different to the regular field that you use in KVK, and obviously commanders with the support tree have a preference to be the primary. So we have Hermann has a support tree, he's primary. Zhuge Liang secondary, it's pretty standard. But this Archer March is actually one of 2 marches I've seen used in Irish League in this match. And the other one was Shajar with YSG or even with Ashurbanipal. But interesting part is I found to be having more infantry marches on the field compared to archers and even sometimes cavalry, which, you know, in the past usually infantry is the least used because they're the slowest troop type, and you know, we had better options. They had less AoE, less meaningful marches. But I've seen a lot of Scipio primaries, not a single Ragnar primary, and Scipio once again has the support tree and it's quite good, has relevant debuffs, smart speed, and smart debuff. And he's mostly been used with Luce or Ragnar, or even I think I saw a Philip. But the most versatile pairing that I've seen, let me see if I can find it, is with Archer primaries. So Archer primaries were so different, like we see with Philip here. And I've seen it with Philip. I've seen some people use them with Belisarius Prime. I've seen people use Justinian, which I found very surprising. And the 4th pairing was William. So Archer primary had so many different secondaries, and man, taking them down, like Archer primaries, was so difficult because they just couldn't seem to die and they just deal so much damage. And in general, taking all of these marches now took quite a significant effort, and you know, this was expected. They are simply a level above and nothing we can do about that really. But I think we did much better than we initially thought, and we managed to like be in the game, not, you know, back to the safe zone trying to get out. So in that regard, I think we did okay. But you know, like I said, nothing much you can do. And as you can see, yes, Archer Justinian. And yeah, not a lot of archers, a lot of infantry and cavalry, and especially cavalry with all the different, as you can see, the reports I just have are, I don't think I have a single positive report, which, like I said, is expected. Also see a lot of Luce primaries with Philip and Alex, and the least amount of used is the Hermann and the Zug primary. Now the second thing is, as you can see right here, are actually the rally and garrison pairings. So in their closer structures, let me see if I can find any report, they use a cavalry garrison or a mixed garrison with Eleanor with Hera. Now Eleanor is honestly probably the best Arc of Osiris garrison commander because all the relevant buffs she gives to marchers nearby, which makes swarming the target easier. I think for that reason, I think they also use it. And for the rally aspect, let's see, that they haven't used a single cavalry rally that I saw. Maybe they used in the top side, but their rally of choice was actually Henry with Ashurbanipal. And to me, that is very, very interesting. I think when I think of Henry, the first thing comes to mind is some anti-swarm, or it makes it really difficult to swarm it down and actually have healthy marches afterwards. So if you swarm them down and you have like yellow or even red marches, they're kind of useless. You have to march and kill them off so you can refresh faster, and that shaves off a lot of time and it's a lot of time wasted. Uh, but they took our buildings a couple times, and we really had a rough time retaking it. And the garrisons they used in that was a mixed garrison with Hera YSS, and that thing really hurt, like extremely hurt. Even with a couple of rallies, the marches around structure, they just swarmed the rally so fast. And it was actually Attila Subotai, and I think at one point in time the rally didn't even connect to the garrison. Like, it was insane how much damage output it had against a rally that is supposed to be very tough to swarm, or very, like, you know, very hard to swarm down, but they managed to do it so easily. Oh yeah, this is it. I think this is one of them. Obviously it hurt, but when you look at the battle data, it traded, you know, negatively, and it was a full rally, which is insane. Like, this was, wait, which structure is it again? I think this was our Desert Altar. So it was even a closer building. They managed to really just hold it out for quite a while. It took a couple rallies to get it, retake it back, and then go for the middle and try to have a presence there. But, you know, that didn't really work out. So, in short, they used Cavalry Garrison or Cavalry Mixed Garrison in their closer buildings. And if they took our buildings, they used a Mixed Garrison, which is Hera YSS. And for rallies, they used Henry with Ashurbanipal. Now, if I look at Henry real quick, I think Henry also is making the target take more skill damage. Is that correct? Oh, this commander's troop takes less skill damage. More counterattack damage. Yeah, so if their troop takes less normal damage as well. So their strategy when it comes to rally and like swarming things is very simple. They wait for the rally to hit. They use it to tank the hits of the garrison, and they use the marchers to swarm it down. And it's very effective, obviously. Now for the third thing, we're gonna go here. we're actually gonna watch the match. And this is a very cool feature. I really like how they done it. The UI looks pretty clean. And we're gonna skip it. Actually, we don't have to skip it. We just have to toggle off the pro mode. And the third thing is the skills that are used. So the skills that are used are definitely interesting. That caught my eye. The first thing I noticed, there is no to the death. Maybe they thought it wasn't really needed for this match. But they used Desert Storm, which I think they used once. I think it wasn't even in the arc area. It was somewhere around here. And basically, Desert Storm is a skill which, it's a circle. In that circle, you take damage and you get reduced health. So it kind of softens you up for your marches to hit. And it kind of acts as a counter to Sneaky Tactics, which also makes your troops not hidden anymore. So it's kind of counter to Sneaky Tactics, which actually we used as well, but they also have it in their arsenal. And if we go and skip to, actually, yeah, I remember the 7-minute mark when I had our first fight. So I'm gonna go to the 7-minute mark. I'm gonna show you how it looks actually in the field. They also use Heaven's Grace. So Heaven's Grace is a healing skill. But they also use it in the middle, if I recall. But for the first arc, they use Dust Up and they use Bog Down. And Energetic, I think, is the meta. We use it as well right away. I am the one of the coordinators, and I use skills most frequently. So I especially take a closer look to the skills that they use. Now, the reason I put this like thing as third is because in the top 32 moving forward, there will be the new recent skills in place. So We're probably not gonna see these skills or all of them in use. We got some cool new skills, which I don't remember the name, but when you use it, it resets all of your cooldowns for the next skill. So I'm more than confident it's gonna be used so frequently in every match. And as you can see, we're marching to our closer structure, which is the Desert Altar. And they're already marching here. Like, the march speed they have is crazy. And even this, like, this is an infantry march. I know it's like a SVIP, so they have all the, like, the relevant buffs. But still, they had so much march speed. It's crazy. And we're slowly reaching a point of impact. I think this is where we... in about 20 seconds from now. But you can see from here. Arthur primary, Scipio primary, Hermann primary, Scipio, Luce. You can see how Luce is lagging behind a bit. And I'm going to use sneaky tactics here because I want to have more damage. Because if we lose this fight right away, they could just go for our obelisk right here and just box us in. GG, we can't do anything. So using a skill here gives us our 30% all damage. And I thought we need all the buffs we can get against this team. And as you can see, I'm probably one of the... yeah, my CC is heading first, of course. I use CC for the arc, but, you know, I bring it right from the start because I might use it to snipe outposts or, you know, do some scouting. But as you can see, like, their marches are just either white, yellow, not even red yet. Like, if you see, not a single sad face is going so far. And I think we had more marches here because it's the closer structure. But as you can see, this is very, like, very tough to crack. Slowly dying. Look at the sad face ratio. Like, we're getting really deleted here. Even with 30% all damage, we still do not have the capacity to do significant amount of damage. And I think this particular fight took like 2 or 3 tries to clean them up. Especially because it took the building too. And yeah, it just shows you in action how it looks. And I thought this was over because, you know, they went here. But I think we managed to, like, by having marches sending, we kind of distracted a bit from the obelisk. But you can see the marches here also trying to snipe it if we didn't have a garrison, but we did. We have an Eleanor. And it just went here to refresh. And going to the middle, I think they went to the middle around 3.5 minute mark. You can see already some blue lines coming at 5 minute mark. And we see a first Attila Subotai rally, not full. But, you know, people are still joining and still trying to set a foothold in our area. But we're going to watch this rally hit. This is going to take Toronto War. You can see my compositions. I'm still one of the suckers using Guan. I don't have Ragnar, but, you know, I have mostly infantry compositions. So I have to do what I do best. I use Luce Philip, Hermann with Zug, and I use Nevsky with Arthur. And I use Chow Chow with Caesar as well, like a carrier march. And let's see. And like I said, they use Eleanor in their buildings. And it's pretty full compared to our rally, which only had like 3 to 4 marches in it. Actually, 2 marches. And it's going down. As you can see, a couple of minutes have passed. We still didn't get our altar back, and these marches are still healthy and they're still coming in. And like I said, it took a couple more minutes to actually get it done. And now we got the building. But they also probably they realized, okay, there's arc. We need to get there, and you know, at the 3.5 minute mark, there's so many blue lights coming, and arc showdown is going to be around the 1 minute mark, if I recall. But we can skip ahead a bit. So they position quite aggressively. Usually you group up right here, but they took a really aggressive stance, and they made us position around this lamp, which was obviously more far than ideal, but they're simply not our terms to make, and we had to adjust as much as we could. And this is the pole marker, and then we pushed right here. So in about a minute from now, we're going to enter our first arc fight, and in total we had 2. The third one was we were so overwhelmed that we couldn't really just go to the middle. We tried to get some buildings back, and just try to survive, because our thought process was just try to delay them as much as possible. From them getting our obelisks and teleporting us back to the safe zone. We have to march out and get slaughtered, and that didn't happen. I think that's also maybe intentional from their side. They didn't want to have a boring fight, because our group stage was quite boring, and I think for them it was also as well. People didn't show up as much, and just try to have a good fight. And this is actually the first good fight we had in this Osiris League. Last match was similarly, half competitive, but this one really was a big test, and try to learn from what they do. And the 1 minute mark is here, and we have to push in order to actually have a chance to at least get the arc and maybe pull it away to our side. Then they use Dust Up and they use Bog Down. I also used Dust Up, and I think I used Total Vision. Yeah, I think I used Total Vision, and then we went in. They use Bog Down, I use Total Vision, and we go in. You can see these marches already so close to getting routed. You can see Shajar primary. And yeah, just unstoppable. So much AoE, so much rage, so much damage. Nothing much you can do. Okay, we got one sad face. And yeah, that's how it pretty much went. So by the end of the match, we held off our obelisk at the end. We didn't let them take it. But they also didn't go full gas. I think they also, you know, reserved. They didn't go and swarm our cities too much, except Starcats. But I think they're also quite respectful. And congratulations on them for the winning. And I hope they go far. I always had a soft spot for 93 as well, because they were like one of the Imperial Kingdoms that has some free-to-play players in it. So big congratulations to them. And as you can see by the reports, definitely a good learning experience. This is probably the first Ark of Osiris related video I made on the channel, so definitely something that it took a great amount of time to do, like an actual analysis or something. And with all that said, thank you for watching, and see you guys in the next one.